Seeing some incredible action start to finish throughout the event, and it all leads up to this Bomber versus MC. I'm Day 9.
And I'm DJ Wheat, and we saw 16 of the world's best battle it out, first in group play, and then, of course, today in the championship bracket. We only have 2 men left standing, Sean, and these 2 men are about ready to do some epic battle.
I'm so excited because these 2 players we've been talking nonstop when we were doing Group C. Oh, they've been slumping, they've been having issues, but recently, just skyrocketing back to their former positions as people who get to the finals regularly.
Yeah, I mean, Bomber even said today, you know, yeah, my performances have not been as great as I expect them to be, but I'm done with that. And he's proved that by just being one of 2 players here in the grand finals.
So, we will be hopping into this action in just a bit, but first we have to hop into a pre-game interview with our 2 players, Startail Bomber and SKMC, up at the main stage with Rob Simpson.
Thanks, guys. All right, so MC, yesterday, both of you came out of Group C, and Bomber was your only loss in terms of match. What happened in yesterday's games?
어제 같은 조였잖아요. 근데 MC 범러한테만 졌는데 그때 그 상황이 어떻게 됐었는지.
Just he's really good and unlucky.
All right, so what's going to happen differently today to ensure that the boss toss can take home the gold medal?
어저께는 졌는데 그러면 오늘은 어떻게 다르게 할 건지.
Yesterday is best of 3, and today is best of 7. So I had a lot of finals. So I have many EXP. Yeah. So I think I have advantage.
Do you have any final words before you enter this grand finals?
이제 경기 시작하기 전에 하고 싶은 말이 있는지.
I'm never champion in USA, so I won't get champion today. So I want cheer for me fans. Proton!
All right, so Bomber, yesterday you went undefeated as far as match score, but the only map that you lost was against MC. Are you fearful going into this grand finals?
어저께 조에서 하다가 거의 안 졌는데 한 세트만 MC한테 졌잖아요. 그래서 좀 부담이 되는지 아니면 걱정되는지 그것 때문에.
전혀 신경 안 써요.
Not at all. I'm not worried.
So, in MC's answers, he sounds equally confident going into this grand finals, and he says that he's going to have the advantage due to the longer series. How do you feel about that?
MC 선수도 되게 자신감 있다고 하고 그냥 되게 이런 결승전도 많이 와봐서 유리하다고 하던데 그거에 대해서 어떻게 생각하는지?
MC도 경험 많고 유리한 건 맞지만 저도 결승전 경험이 꽤 있기 때문에 저도 괜찮을 것 같아요.
It's true, MC has made many finals before and he has a lot of experience, but so do I, so I think I'll be fine.
All right, so you could be just moments away from winning your biggest championship. What would winning this mean to you?
여기서 우승하게 되면 미국에서 첫 우승이잖아요. 그러면 그 느낌이 어떨 것 같은지. 아니면 그래도 이 우승이
일단 저는 다른 거보다 레드불 이제 배틀그라운드가 첫 대회인데 첫 대회를 꼭 우승하고 싶어요.
More than anything, because this is the Red Bull Battlegrounds, I really want to win just for that.
Okay, so Bomber, do you have any final words before this final series?
이제 결승전 시작하기 전에 마지막으로 하고 싶은 말이 있는지.
Are you ready for bombing?
All right, well, thank you so much, gentlemen. Please shake hands and good luck in the grand finals. This is going to be the grand finals of the Red Bull Battlegrounds. Back to you, Day 9 and DJ Wheat.
Thank you, Rob. And I'm loving this trend of Koreans giving their answers in English.
Yes, I like it too. We got a Protoss, and are you ready for Bomber? Well, I'm certainly ready for it.
So we are now going to be getting ready to set up game number 1 on Cloud Kingdom LE. will be the 1st and 7th match. Now, while they're getting that set up, getting everything sorted out, I wanted to let you know that you can win one of those awesome bags that went to KJ with the Mind Shriekers earlier on. Just give a tweet if you would like some Astro and Twitch TV swag. Tweet to Astro Gaming and at Twitch TV the best haiku you can with your predictions for this final match. And if you could include me, because I want to have a lot of fun reading my Twitter.
I bet you would just absolutely love that too, because this is a guy who likes haikus, I can tell you that.
Yeah, I'm one of those wake up, read a haiku a day, and then start my casting. I think in exactly 5 to 7 syllable fragments.
Perfect.
And I'm hoping to use those to discuss this upcoming match. This is a lot of pressure I just put on myself. It's going to be on Cloud Kingdom. I can't stop counting syllables in my head. It's hard, Marcus. You know, I think the interesting fact is that Bomber is not being passive in the mid game in the way that we've been seeing those Terrans do. He is not doing this push, take a fast third, and then try to reevaluate. He is just drilling home with the 5 racks right away.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw this sort of progress throughout the competition as well. Bomber's often referred to as being that aggressive Terran. And in this particular case, you know, we saw him even today apply that exact style to some of his matchups. I mean, I think that he surprised a lot of people. And now here in the grand finals, $15,000 on the line for first place. We're giving away a total of $41,000 this weekend. But these are the spots that these players want to be in. And I can tell you, both of these guys, they seem like they want it bad.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see if there's some strategies that these players have been holding back. Bomber seems very much so like the meticulous player, very carefully constructs a build and uses it again and again and again. Maybe some variations on it, but still that nice core set. But MC, we've just seen him use every type of build with every mix of unit.
Yeah, now, of course, we're getting ready. It looks like Cloud Kingdom is going to be the first map. Our players are ready. Are you ready?
The countdown has just begun. DJ Wheat, we're about to go into the grand final between Star Tails Bomber and SKMC. Game number 1.
This, of course, is going to be a best-of-7 series, just like MC said. He felt like that was actually going to lean in his favor, and definitely in the best-of-7 series, what you choose to go for, your opening games, there's a little bit of freedom, flexibility as far as that's concerned. Bomber could, frankly, use that to his advantage. Go super aggressive early on. If it's not working, you change his game up a little bit more. MC, I have a feeling like he has a game plan from game 1 to game 7, so I'm really curious to see exactly how this is going to play out.
Well, given the fact that this map already favors 3-base play, I ordinarily would say I wouldn't be surprised to see both players going for a fast third, but we saw Squirtle attempt that against Bomber, and he got rolled so badly by that gigantic force. I mean, can't emphasize enough how early Bomber is getting those 4th and 5th barracks while still not slowing down that medevac production.
And you know, I mean, you tell me what you think. Of course, this is all sort of speculation. You could look at it this way. It doesn't necessarily mean that's how it plays out. But, you know, Bomber comes off of a victory against Squirtle. He's had to play a Protoss to get to where he's at. And so he's sort of in that PVT mode. And if he just kind of applies what he applies, you know, maybe it's going to be able to take him to a championship. But there is one thing that MC said. He said, I've not won a championship in the United States. He's won one in Europe. He's won one in Korea, a couple in Korea. And he is looking for that triple crown. And I just have a feeling that that motivation alone could actually propel someone to victory.
And it is interesting that MC is the kind of guy who seems to like the pressure. He doesn't...
Oh, absolutely.
He doesn't say, oh, well, you know, I'm you know, more confident in these situations and nervous in others. I mean, the more pressure he's under, the better he seems to perform. And it's also interesting to see that his comments and his preparations are in line with how he performs in the game. I mean, almost humorously saying, oh, yeah, against, you know, Stefano, I said 2-base all in, so, you know, 2-base all in. And he says, you know, I want to try to win. I'm confident in the best of 7. So no doubt he is confident going into that best of 7.
Now, just as a quick reiteration, since there's only 6 maps in the pool, right? You'd mentioned that there will be one map played twice, and that will be Cloud Kingdom. Is that accurate?
correct.
If it goes to 7 maps?
First and 7th map is going to be Cloud Kingdom. Loser picks throughout, and no map can be repeated. So hopefully this is the first of 2 games we're going to see on this map.
We have the fast CC coming out here by Bomber. He was able to get that supply depot up, so the first probe that moved in here did not get a read on that. It's now sitting back at the Zelnaga tower, and this Marine will go ahead and try to get him out of there, and he does. So right now, MC playing a little bit in the dark, but knowing that Bomber's trying to keep something from him, is going to keep that probe alive, maybe try to sneak around this Marine and possibly see if he can see anything going on with Bomber.
Yeah, I mean, definitely MC wants to get that scout seed poking right to the front. Can he spot if there's a fast expansion coming? And I mean, this ordinarily, every Terran player would say, if you're going to expand and you can get away with it on the low ground, you absolutely must do that. Otherwise, you are just hindering your own opening so badly. And now that it looks like MC has walked up and sees that there is no expansion, and it looks like this Zealot won't also be able to spot up into the top. If I'm in MC's position, I am saying there is a Banshee coming 100%. I gotta get up that really fast robo.
And you know what? I kind of like the whole concept of hiding that tech. You know, it cost him just 100 minerals to start that supply depot, and as a result, you keep your opponent in the dark. So MC definitely trying to push forward and seeing exactly what he can see. Notes that it's just Marines out and about right now. That Zealot is going to be taken out. The Stalker will get a couple of kills of his own, but that trade is going to be enough for MC, and he will back off.
MC now adding on his 2 gateways. Again, still to keep in mind, in MC's shoes, you're going to be expecting some possibility of a fast gas. But at the same time, the possibility of it is not nearly as important as the mind game aspect. And we heard MC talk about, yep, he's going to try to mind game me. Nope, Sase couldn't pull it off. Bomber might not be able to pull it off in this match either.
And I mean, that's just part of the consistency of MC. You had mentioned that he doesn't have that nervousness to him, that he's actually quite confident about any of the matchup that really you can throw his way. I think that partially has to do with his success. I think it partially has to do with just his personality right there.
Yeah.
And he really has not gone into any sort of panic mode as a result of not seeing that information. In fact, he just expanded behind it, is getting his tech up right now, and there's that robotics facility.
And you know, as we're starting this game, it's starting to look a little bit more passive at this moment. I wanted to give an extra special shout out to our other 2 casters. First and foremost, Rob Simpson, who was with us all weekend long. Delighted he was able to make it out. And of course, to none other than the man who helped save this production by opening up the emergency backup stream and solo casting last night till 1 in the morning, Husky Starcraft.
Yeah. I give Husky a double woo because that is a tough job. Solo casting is one of those things that can be very difficult to do. So there you go. She did it for me. Double woo for Husky. Thank you, sir. You are a gentleman and a scholar.
And it looks like MC does have the robo facility up. We're seeing Twilight and Forge follow it. And Bomber, again, doing this very meticulously constructed build with a delayed second gas. Engineering Bay Factory started at the same time. And right on point, the Starport reactor play. And only Marines to boot.
Yeah, I mean, Stim is on its way, getting done right now, just continuously pumping out those Marines. He's got his +1 down as his eBay's been down for quite a bit, but just got that started momentarily, or just a moment ago. And now on the other side, we do have Forge and Twilight Council kind of tucked in here in the back for MC. He is going with Blink as he starts to get his +1 armor as well. His base is fully saturated on both sides, just warping in a ton more units. You could see over on Bomber's side, he really starting to lay on the add-ons here. It's getting a reactor on this Rax, a reactor on this factory, which will undoubtedly switch up there with the starport, and there he is. He can start his medevac production.
Now this is interesting. We're starting to see a pretty different mid-game play from MC than what a lot of players are doing. Most players are going for the charge, relying on Zealot Archon, Zealot Templar, the big gateway-having parting style. But interestingly, Bomber, or MC almost always likes going for Blink instead of charge. Allows him to manage against those drops quite easily. And Blink Stalkers, I think, are one of the most underrated units in terms of those direct combat in PvT. And ooh, Marcus, an 8-gate follow-up from MC.
8 gates. He's not produced anything out of his robotics facility past that observer. And now that observer getting into a position where he can see if this army moves out, and it couldn't have been at a perfect time. He will see that bio army move down, and he does have access to the tower. So right now, it's very possible that Bomber thinks he's going to be skirting around unnoticed, but certainly his opponent knows that he has moved out from his base.
We're seeing, oh, this is exactly what we saw out of Sase. The Warp Prism play. He's going to be playing defensive, and he knows, well, if you're going to be sitting at the front of my base trying to harass me, I'm going to be back in yours, dropping, warping in. You're going to be forced to try to make a base trade, but I have a better defensive setup.
Yeah, now Bomber is responding by just going ahead and moving back, not giving up that position quite yet. He did push forward, checked on the third, but he left the one Marine behind there, and there is a probe just waiting, kind of hiding in front of the pylon to drop that Nexus. Uh-oh, it's going to be quickly moved back, but a quick warp in with 2 Zealots there, and he will go ahead and get that Marine out of there. The factory's still getting some vision over here, and we'll be able to check on that third, but MC drops down that Nexus and will get himself established.
I almost feel like that exchange exemplifies why both of these players are the best of the best. I mean, moving the probe down, instantly pulling back, not losing it, warping in the 2 Zealots, the stim, an instant runaway. Both players leaving unscathed from that. I mean, almost anyone could have lost on either side just that little bit, but it's that care for each individual unit that I think lets them to get to these levels so consistently.
Now, I don't know if we caught it, but one single Marine, the one Marine that was taken out of the third base, actually stimmed, went around to the natural, and moved in behind the mineral line. A Warpin did block him, but he definitely saw the Templar archive, so knows that High Templar are certainly going to be out on the field. We do have Storm not yet researched yet, but of course allows him to get those Archons ready and going, and we have the Warp Prism just idling up here in the north side of the map. Is he going to be able to go in there, Sean, and do some damage?
Well, it looks like he's just waiting patiently. It's kind of tempting to get in there. You know, you always have the fantasies of getting 50 Zealots in his main and he's crying, but of course you can't force that to happen. You have to wait for the opportunity, and that's why MC's getting the blink mobile army. He can dart in, draw out all the Marine, Marauder, Ghost, and then do the warp in the main. A brilliant composition attack from MC.
Oh, and here goes the Warp Prism on the north side. He's also setting up outside of his opponent's third. Warp Prism about ready to drop down inside the main. There are several SCVs inside there. The Zealots charge their way to the SCVs. We're going to have 6 more Zealots warped in here, and they will do a significant amount of damage. He does have several Ghosts and a great little choke here. These Zealots fighting to get one hit on the Marines, but it's not going to happen.
Oh, Bomber playing brilliantly here, locking in all those Zealots, taking almost no damage, but MC is not giving up. He's going to go for the counterplay, and Bomber is the one who gets caught out of position.
Uh-oh, Bomber way out of position, and now we have the Protoss army completely swarming all over this. Naturally forces a lift on the orbital. The SCV's trying to go into safety, and look at this. Bomber says, well, I have no choice. I'm already halfway across the map. I'm going in.
And it looks like Storm now finished for MC. He has to do some sort of miracle warp, and I think MC's starting to realize he's got to start picking these bases down. He might go for that base trade, but these Templar are going to be the critical deciding factor if he can get off a big Storm.
Yeah, and there's one Storm goes down, second one, but it doesn't hit as much. It immediately morphs into an Archon. Does he have any more High Templar ready? Looks like the Natural's already been decimated. He hasn't been able to make his way into the main yet, but the third is going to go down as well. Meanwhile, over on the other side of the base, we see MC still trying to make his way in, going to clean up all these Marines. It should be able to clean up any reinforcements as well.
Gosh, this is already becoming a crazy base trade scenario, but we've seen Bomber deal very well with this throughout the tournament, doing some very nice base trades against Teja. We see more High Templar morphing in as MC starting to realize, my God, I really have to have some answer to this giant Marine Marauder force at the front of my main. And as we see Bomber just starting to abandon base after base, he does still have the third up. MC didn't even send a few Zealots to disrupt that mining. Instead, he's going to clean up all of Bomber's infrastructure, but impressively, Bomber is rebuilding the infrastructure up in top top left.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely having some sort of sense of what could happen here. You know, he is going to get behind the third with these stalkers, and MC might be able to disrupt a little bit here, but the entire force making its way back has a ton of ghosts. They've got full energy, and I feel like even though MC has completely ripped through the production here, he did lose quite a few units in making that happen. So he's going to be able to leave here, but he may be trapped inside of a Bomber's base.
Oh, this could get grim really quickly, and I've never seen defensive force fields on his old main base to protect my army.
That is pretty insane there. Another one drops down, but keep in mind he's got those medevacs. He could lift up and send it right inside. Meanwhile, a ton of zealots here gathering at the south.
This could be dangerous if he blinks under. But he misses the opportunity, and there's the sprint forward. But it looks like MC is doing a nice job forcing a split on Bomber's army. The Ghosts all on the low ground. There, the EMPs blast off, do some nice damage there. And MC's waiting for a nice time to sneak those Templar in.
Templar from the back. Double Storm goes down, but I'm not sure that was the best use of it. There's still, there it is! Huge storms! And is he going to be able to come down from the top? He's attacking the units inside as well. And will the Zealots be enough to clean it up?
MC with a great counter swing manages to almost clean it up. Can these Archons do it? No! The EMPs rip it down to no shields, and Bomber comes out on top.
Oh my gosh, how devastating those EMPs were, and now there's just a few units left here inside the main base. A lot of ghosts, a ton of medevacs to be able to clean that up. And look at that, the Stalkers will be cleaned up. An immaculate play by Bomber with those EMPs on the Archons. He has saved his main, even though there's nothing left inside it.
Unbelievable. An orbital command returned back to its home. Does have that maximum energy. 4 mules might come down. Hello, ready to bring that income back to 3,000.
Yeah, and these racks up at the top, they're still continuing to produce units, and his army's looking quite nice right now. You can see the armor supply 73 to 29 in favor of Bomber, and I think that tells the tale itself.
23 probes to 26 SCVs, but I mean, you got to give credit to the Mule for helping Terrans get back in a game. I mean, those floating orbital commands, now that they've landed, Bomber can just rapidly catch up, but he's not going to be able to throw down 4 mules for long. That orbital command had been pooling that energy for so long.
And here we go. He's going to need a storm right here, but the High Templar with energy is inside the main base. He throws down a great storm on those units. We see the Zealots moving forward. EMP hits directly on top of them, and I still think that Bomber has way too much.
And
GG!
An unbelievable push by MC, a counter push by Bomber, and a miraculous save. That was unreal impressive by Bomber. I mean, just building all his barracks long before his main was dead up in the top left.
And it's amazing because you'd think like that's the most obvious thing to do. Is like he is definitely going to wreck my production, so why don't I make that? And you know, we don't see too many players actually do that. A lot of times they just commit to the base trade. It's over, I either win or I lose. But having that insurance policy, like why not? It made a lot of sense. And ultimately, I think that EMP on those Archons was tip-top awesome.
I mean, it's kind of interesting to think about what was each player losing in that exchange. Bomber identified, I'm going to lose my production, immediately started rebuilding his production. MC was going to lose his expansions and just wasn't quite able to retake an expansion. Even at a corner, hiding it could have given him that edge to hop back in. But Bomber just incredible in terms of his overall response, but you got to hand it to MC. He handled that nearly as well as he could have, especially given that exchange that went on in Bomber's old dead main.
Yeah, the one other thing that was really detrimental to MC is that he had his only tech building, the Templar Archives, outside at the natural. And although Bomber actually didn't even make it in, losing that part of his production, well, that was what he really needed to try to bounce back and bring it back in his favor.
And now it looks like the map that has been chosen by MC is going to be Ohana, which, I mean, statistically does favor the Protosses a little bit, but I mean, even Ohana has not really had that many matches played on it, and Bomber's been looking really hot on it.
Yep, I mean, a brand new map, well, you can tell just by the amount of results. It's newer on the scene, but definitely one that most tournaments are picking up now, and players seem to quite like it, so I'm excited to see this one unfold as well as this PVT continues here on Ohana.
So we're getting ready to start the game right now, but wanted to give an extra special shout out to some organizations that have been helping us just by giving their wonderful support. I'd like to start with the Texas Esports Association, who all came out to this event today and have been enthusiastically promoting it at their school throughout. So thank you guys so much.
Fantastic group of folks. If you see any of them wearing their t-shirts, make sure to say hi.
Hello?